Rightio guys, so this is your standard TX800 UV printhead for our Chinese style, like for the rainbow machine. JU Color, I think they use these as well. Don't quote me on it. I think there's a couple of companies that use this very same camera. So, camera, not camera. I was thinking about my camera because it nearly smashed just a minute ago. My ceiling mount decided to collapse on me and I just caught it in time. So anyway, right, so yeah, printer. Chinese printers use a lot of these TX heads, and some of the DTF machines I believe use these style. So cleaning wise, obviously what you need to be going careful of is just in here is where your ribbon cables go. There's a small circuit board in there. Now generally speaking, if it's just a minor clog, you could probably wipe this gold plate underneath clean and clean off the top. So this is the top end where your dampers would go. These little pinholes, you can normally get a small syringe and a tube, and I won't immediately push. Some people will say carefully put it on there and push the syringe. Don't push, because if you've got a clog in there, it will come out of this hole far better than these holes. Now I think at the reflection you can just about make minute lines there. There'll be 6 lines in total. That's where the ink comes from. Now what you're looking at is when you've got this on and operational, your ink should be coming out evenly distributed along this line as a fine mist. Now when I say don't push cleaner through there, I say that as a don't push it through there when you've got a clog. When you haven't got a clog, it will be fine if you take it steady. Now what I generally do will be to pop this on there, pull the syringe, pull out any ink remaining, and hopefully clogs or crappy parts that need to be pulled out this way. Do it for every one, and then later on what you'll want to then do is use some cleaner inside your syringe, place it on there, and very carefully, I'll show you about the speed. Let me open it. So if we set, let's go to the markers there, look. No more than that. Literally, just very gently. If you get a big blob, couple of little lines, then there's probably still a clog there. Same with any of the others. What you need is to be seeing is loads of little tiny air bubble style droplets. Once you've got that, that's fine. Now if you're not getting that, a safe bet would be to soak this end. Now don't go above, oops, that point there really. Don't go above it, because just here is the circuit board which goes right the way across this section. So the thickness of this at the very maximum, I would say maybe just to here, in a small dish with some cleaner overnight. Just place it in there very carefully, because you don't want to damage this plate here, and leave that to soak. Now if you might get away with a couple of hours, but definitely overnight would probably be much better. If that doesn't work, then you can go down a deeper hole. I suggest that really you use this method as a more of a, well, the head, you use it as the terms, the head is knackered now, I'm going to have to buy a new one, but let's try this last way, because the last way could be more self-destructive and you might mess it up more. So this is kind of your last way. Right, so we need a small posi drive screwdriver, very small, And then as you can see, you've got these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. Now we'll take these off. Now this head I did previously do a video. Yes, no, a couple of days ago, but I didn't upload it because I delved into it so deep that I didn't want you guys doing the same, because my head, this one's knackered, and I've seen why now. That's why I went in deep. But I don't want you doing the same, because if you go down in that deep, then you are, it's pretty much reversible. You're not going to fix it. So once you take these 4 screws out, this top plate around the outside of the gold plate will come off. One screw out, 2 screw out. Sorry about my hand in the way. I got you zoomed in quite far because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. Let's just get this done. This screw don't want to come out. What's he doing? It is because I screwed it in quite. It wasn't tightening down very well. Yeah, it's cross-threaded there. Well, not cross-threaded, but the threads inside this print head is knackered. Let me just get. Oh, I don't want you to see that yet. Let me just try and get this off. Right, there we go. As you can see, even just undoing that, oh, no, you can't see. Just undoing that, it's bent that piece. I'm just going to retain these screws because I want to put it back together. So that one there, look, it's all bent. It's very flimsy, but it doesn't just hold this on. Okay, what it does is it holds this whole carriage here to the bottom piece. Now you can take it off this way, but mine won't come off this way because I've disconnected this board, and I'll show you what I did. I'm gonna just do it this way. Let me plonk it down, because as you can see, look, that well, no, you can't really see, but this board has just come off, and that's because I started to mess with it the other night. I'm gonna put that one back on the right way. Yep. Right, so I'll give you a breakdown actually of everything on this head, okay? So we've now got 2 sections. We've got the main bottom piece, which has got the gold plate, and then the top part where the dampers go, and as we can see, that would sit inside there. Now we've got this apart, let me just clean it because I don't want to get this everywhere. I made a right mess on the last video. Right, so as you can see now, there are another 4 screws. 1, 2, oh, 5, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that one there, 5. Right? You've got 2 options at this point, right? That's one section. You don't want to take this apart. This rubber does come off, okay? You could clean the underside of this, but we're going to leave that for now. I've taken this right out. I'll show you actually, right? So I've taken it right out, but it's like it's glued or something in there, so it's not meant to come out. And if you take it out, you're greeted with these very fine boards which won't go back, and these are messed up. So you don't want to take it. Can you see the bits of glue? I pried this one off just to have a look, see what's going on underneath. So I'm not going to get that back in without doing another wave. Right, we'll put that to one side. Now, if you don't want to take this apart any further, you could, I guess, just dunk that in some cleaner and leave it be also, and it should whittle its way out. But for the video, I'm just going to take it apart and show you. One, keep these screws separate because these are smaller for the top. 2, 3, 4, and yeah, sorry, I don't want to zoom out, which I could do, but I don't want to do that because obviously I've got IPA and ink all over my hands. Right, so that's all 5 screws. Not quite. That's all 5 screws off, right? So if I flip this over, so that, let's see if you can see. There, 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 and there is where the ink comes through. Through those 6 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I flip it, I just want to be trying to keep these screws. 1, 2, 3, got one more. There you go. On the underside is this. Now, that is a small rubber. And then they are some small fine filters. Now what you can do, if you're careful, is get yourself a syringe with a needle, a fine needle. See if I can show you what I mean. Here we go, one attached. So I've got one of these blue syringes, really small. It's only, oh, so rubbish, it's all wiped off already. I think it's only a couple of mil, but it's got a fine, really fine tip. So what that can then do is that is small enough to go down in that hole. Okay, but you don't want to force it because on the other side are these filters. But what you can do is get some cleaner into here and just very lightly push some through these holes and just make sure it's coming out the backside. Other than that, really you can't be doing much with this. Once they're cleared, you should be good to go. Wipe it down maybe afterwards. As for this rubber, now I think maybe once you buy it, it's just universal way, but I can feel the imprint of these, like this hole down here, and obviously it would go, so there's the imprint, I can feel it there. Oops, if you see it, see that what it looks like, a little round ball, that would go down into that hole. And like so, and I do question, like I've not been into one of these and I don't have a spare yet. I've got some of this on its way to me, but it sits in there like as if it doesn't fit, so it might cause leaks that way. As you can see, look, I've pushed it in and it's bent over like that. Maybe it has to be once you place pressure on top, then it closes it all down flat. I don't know. But no, you can't do much else. I can't do much else with that because I don't have another one. So that's fine. Once that's all cleaned, we're ready to put that to one side. Now this section, really it's the same principle. If you want, you can then get your syringe with your tube, go on the end, and you can push it out through these holes to your heart's content. Because it doesn't matter, it's just plastic holes. So there's one in there, one there, one there, 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 and there. Don't think I missed out any. But that's the 6 chambers. Right. And then that's the back side. So obviously, as I show you, we can reassemble it by means of popping that rubber back in there, putting this on the correct way so the damper sides face out, and then get the 4 larger screws, well 5 because there's one just on the outside, and screw it back down. 1, 2, Now with that rubber being concave like that, I don't think it matters, because like I said, this does seal down pretty well. I say that and now this screw don't want to go in. Oh, that's why. I haven't got it pushed in. I think actually now, because I pushed, that last one all in, it made it awkward. Oh, we're good, we're good. Take your time with this, because you don't want to slip like that and round off your screws. Like I said, if you've got a print head that's not been converted for UV, you would need to purchase this section anyway. You get this top plate and that rubber inside, which is what I bought because I wanted to have a look. So that's that piece back together. Now with this, let me just put this board back on just so that you can see me reattach it all. Obviously what it's got is it's got these wafer thin circuit boards. See them both? On that side. But you can see there's fault, because if you can see all those, so you see the gold plate at the bottom, then you can see these teeth in the middle. I'll get it enough to show you. Won't touch my screen. Yeah, well that's a lot of teeth. That gap on the right hand side, just here and here, that shouldn't be there. As well as that one is the only one that's got those teeth. And when I opened this up, there was lots of debris like that inside these. So none of these others, so there's 6 in total, only one of them's got it on there. So when I purchased this, it was one of these Amazon, not Amazon, eBay cheap 30 quid heads. They're claiming it was converted. I think they damaged it putting it back together, and I think it wasn't brand new, it was just a reconditioned head, hence why it didn't work. That's why I was able to take it apart. Right, so as best, that's back together. Now for me that's not going to seal, but please, I would avoid taking that apart. Now for ink, it does go down in there. Be careful, because obviously you don't want to be getting it all over your board and it curing or messing it up. And before you put it back together, just try to get everything off. Clean it off. Again, going deep, you can heat gun this one off and it can come off, and I believe you can buy replacements, but I haven't been able to find replacements, and to be fair, it really isn't worth it. So we'll put that to one side a minute. So this rubber has the 6 holes, but then it has 2 extra, which are bigger. So these, you can see they've been like recessed and pushed in. This one and this one, they're bigger because they sit on just there. There's a raised noggin and a raised one there, and they sit on there. Now if you look very carefully, yeah, that's raised, that's lowered. So the raised needs to go down so that it can contact all this, because the circuit board is just slightly lower, slightly higher than that. I say that and I think it's the other way around actually, because once you compress it they do stick up. So, whoa, this side got to be facing down, and the nuggins obviously connects onto there, but it also connects up there and on all 4 corners. Then course you won't be fighting like I am because I've taken my board up, which has made it just come up a little bit. And then with that piece there goes where that slot is. Just like so. There we go. And then this top cover goes back on, and the 4 screws get screwed back in to put it all back together. Now, like I said, this could be quite destructive. You might just damage it for good. But if you've got like lots of heads, you've been buying new every time, or you've got a little minor clog and your service repair guy turns around and tells you that, yeah, you need a new head. Really, you might not have done. You might have had hundreds, if not thousands of hours out of that head. Now my heads on my machine are, wow, I think I purchased my machine back in October 2001. October 2002 been. We are almost 7 months on after that. Give or take the fact that I don't do mine. So the head potentially, even if you said I don't do a lot of work, I still put ink into it, which has always got the potential of clogging. So that was 7, 8, 9, 19 months ago. So they can last, you know. Keep on top of it. Don't force clogs through. Make sure you pull any clogs out, and then later at a later date, just fine mist, and that's what you're looking for. Just a fine mist coming out the back here. Or if you don't want to go down that line, just some cleaner, some sort of IPA or some cleaning fluid that you can get with the machine. Probably that would be best actually. The cleaning that you can get with your UV printer, you can also buy it on like AliExpress and stuff. I think it's about 20 quid, 15, 20 quid a bottle. No further than this. Probably a safe bet would be to say to this line here, filled up in a bowl, place that upside down like that and leave it overnight. Hopefully that'll be enough for you. Once you've done that overnight thing, suck any loose stuff, because you might have freed up stuff just in behind here, and that might then have caused you to be able to unblock the stuff inside. That's really all there is to it, really. It's not a complicated thing, but obviously, yeah, it's complicated enough for it to clog up easy with the type of pigments that we're using. So look after your head, because they're not cheap. £150 maybe, and if you like me, you've got 2 heads or 3 heads. That's a lot of money if you need to keep replacing them. So anyway, if you can, like, subscribe, and yeah, follow along, because I'll be doing, I think, I don't know if I said this in the last video, I'm doing UV DTF, so I plan on doing that. Now that's a video that's been long coming for the last week or two, but I've been ill and I've been struggling, so I've been doing extra work in my day job, and yeah, I've been pushing it a little hard, so I want to try to get back on it. So later, well, it probably won't be today now, maybe tomorrow, I'll try to make a video of showing the process of using the laminator and the film and print to the film and create some UV DTF. Thanks for stopping by. Speak to you again. Bye for now.